Let's go live. Why not? Let's go live.
Let's go live.
Let's go live right now. All right, make sure you guys did attendance. If not, you missed your shot. You missed your chance. You were not here. All good. All right, so once again, good evening, and thank you guys so much for being here and for coming. My name's Jeff Schmidt. Jeff with a G, actually, G-E-O-F-F. If you've never met a G off before, congratulations, this is your first time. Normally, my claim to fame is the Toys R Us giraffe, but talking to a room of freshmen and sophomores in college right now, do you guys even know Jeffrey the giraffe? No? Is anybody even? All right, so I got some head nods. I'm dating myself a little bit, right? Just about to hit 45, but I feel like I'm only halfway through the race, so I'm feeling great. Also, my claim to fame, once again, date myself here. The other famous G off is Jeffrey the Butler from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Any takers there as well? All right. Maybe a little bit. Ooh, I got a less reaction with that one from Jeffrey the Giraffe. So I am an executive level banker at Rocket Mortgage. I have worked at Rocket Mortgage for the last 20 years, almost 21 in January actually, so literally a lifetime. I graduated from Michigan State University, ran a deck staying and power washing business for the third year to make some money, put myself through school and just live life, and then immediately transitioned to working at Rocket. And I've been at Rocket ever since, which is pretty wild to say in this world, considering most people you know and or are looking at in the professional world right now maybe change careers how often? 3 to 5 years or so, give or take, right? And so I've ridden out 5 of those waves, right? Of the maybe I should go somewhere else, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. I was a leader for 19 years, so I was leading groups of people between 12 or 25 on a team, or leading groups of 90 to 160 in a region with groups of 8 to 12 leaders underneath me as a regional vice president. It's been an incredible journey at Rocket, but what I will tell you, and what we were just talking about here a moment ago, is my passion has actually been this for a very long period of time. And that's speaking, communicating, inspiring, motivating, and more importantly than anything else, outside of the flash and the just me. You can feel my energy, right? I have a certain energy and charisma about me, which is I'm proud of and I've worked on. But more importantly is I'm here to add value. That's it. Value. If you're entertained, you like me, and you had fun, you enjoyed the experience, that's a win and that's cool. But my concern is that leaves and fades within an hour. And you might have a good memory of it, but you'll never take value from it. So I'd like you guys, first and foremost, as I get into what I call my rules of engagement, my first rule of engagement here this evening is you must take away 3 tangible value items that you can and will do and implement moving forward inside of your life. And I'm going to call it professional life, because you're a part of a professional sales organization. You are studying and working on a craft inside of said organization, and you are aligning yourself to be a highly valued professional. Can we raise your hands if you agree with what I just said? Buy into that vision, because that should drive mindset and that should drive action. Hopefully you guys are understanding what I'm telling you there. That is key. Once again, if you're in the infancy stages of your career here at Schey, then the sooner you start to realize how to perceive where you are and what you're doing, internalize where you're going and how you're going to get there, and then have a drive and purpose to get the most out of it, you will maximize your potential inside of this opportunity. Just hold that sit and simmer for a minute. Other rules of engagement. Please just put your phones face down for me like they already are, so thank you guys very much. If you got to take a call or do something, you got to leave, just go, totally fine. Like, you guys are adults, do what you got to do, right? Pay attention. Take notes. If you want to take notes on your phone, totally fine as well. I'm a note taker on my phone too, so if that's what you guys need to do, then do it. That's totally fine. I'll trust that that's what you're doing. And if it's not, so be it. You know, like maybe it's not for you, that's fine as well, okay? Once again, if you're going to take value away from this interaction today, the only way for you to retain that knowledge is by being able to take notes about the things that resonate with you in your mind, okay? So, my rules of engagement are enjoy this, contribute, speak. Like I said, it's a conversation and interaction. If I'm doing 90% of the talking, we're in sales. If I'm doing 90% of the talking and you're doing 10%, is this actually set up to be a good interaction of value exchange? Well, the answer is absolutely not, right? The lesson I had to learn as a communicator and speaker for a long period of time. Please, if you want to interrupt and say something. I will not take it personally. If you got a question, raise your hand and stop me. We don't have to wait until questions at the end. And I'm going to ask you guys to grab some markers and start writing some things here. I'm going to probably pick on the people in front here just to make it easy and efficient. Because once again, I want you guys to be engaged. I want this to be a conversation about how we can add value to our lives and others going through this experience. Good? Everybody on the same page? Excited for this? All right, fantastic. Goal is to get this done in about 45 minutes, and then I'm down to answer any questions afterwards about life, about sales, about anything. Honestly, you can pepper me with almost anything you guys want. All right, so this is our first opportunity to go to the board. I have 2 markers. Anybody want to just volunteer? I'm going to throw it out there. I'm probably not going to get anybody to say yes. Oh, all right. First opportunity to go to the board. There's 1, there's 2. Thank you both very much. Now, this is going to be awkward. You might want to push the table out a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to start squeezing through, right? Look at this. I part the seas for you like Moses. Come on up, okay? Come on up. We're going to go to the board. And so what I'd like you guys to do is we're going to rotate, all right? And I need your help with participation here. We have to set our intentions real quick. We have to set our intentions. And so if you guys can just write goal/hope. Each of us, goal/hope. Ooh, we got a lefty to the board. We got a lefty that shows the right side too. Isn't that a little weird? Are you regretting your decision to choose the right side?
Nah.
Okay. That's good. I like that cleanup job. So, what we want to think about when we enter into the relationship that we're going to begin, which is a mentorship, correct? We are here to discuss how we can get the most out of a mentorship relationship inside of our professional Schey Sales career, right? And before we start talking about the substance of what can I do and how can I do it, what are the tips, they're very much irrelevant until you set your intent, a clear intent first before you engage in the relationship. And so I'd like you guys to contribute. Throw it out for me real fast. They're going to write them down. We're going to rotate. We'll start with you on the left-hand side here. And I'm sorry, terrible names. I know I got your name already, but I already forgot, so I apologize. We'll start on the left. Give me your goal for the mentorship program and your experience through Schey. Goal or hope?
To learn something about the business that I want to go into that isn't taught in the classroom.
So let's paraphrase. There you go. Learn and knowledge, right? All right. Going to the right side now. Who else wants to go? Give me a hope, a goal.
My goal is to find someone that's going to help me set up full-time.
Okay. Looking for, let's say, transition to a career, right? Essentially pave the path to a career. All right, we ready on the left side? So let's work. We're going to keep going rapid fire. Who else? Go ahead, please.
Connecting with someone in a field that I want to go into.
Okay. Connecting with professionals. Do you already know the field? You don't have to say it. Do you know?
Just like marketing and sales in
Okay.
general.
Fantastic. You're going to figure it out. All right, who else? Goal and intention. Throw it out there. Go.
Learn about the skills you need in the field.
Learn and understand tangible skills. Go ahead.
Different perspectives on someone who has a similar mindset as me. Maybe they have different ways of going about accomplishing their goals that
Yeah.
I might be able to do as well.
What you'll find is you'll find like-minded individuals is the terms I would use for that, right? You'll find like-minded individuals in life that are very much different than you but have the same morals, norms, and standards as you. If that makes sense?
Continuing to learn the ways of strategic leadership.
That's a fancy thing to say real quick. Good for you, right? Strategic leadership you just dropped on us. We'd love to have you at Rocket, by the way, teach you a little bit about strategic leadership if you have the opportunity to do so. All right, who else?
Hearing somebody's journey that it took to get to a career that I'd be interested in.
The story and journey. I like to look at the fighting over who's going to write it down. All right, let's do one more.
Just learning strength and weakness for myself.
Uncover my own strengths and weaknesses that maybe I was unaware of. Become more self-aware. Become more self-aware. All right, as soon as he's done writing here, and his wolves, that's a pretty rowdy wolves shirt you got there, by the way. Lightning wolves and stuff. You talking like rock band, sports team? What are you working with here?
What, is?
Yeah.
Nah, it's a lifting brand.
Okay. Just a lift, bro. I love it, man. That's the only reason why I josh him. All right, let's give the guys a round of applause. Gentlemen, thank you guys very much. You did an excellent job so far today. Thank you guys. You guys take your stuff. Take your mark. All right, so when we look at this, right, there's so much that we can think about. And, by the way, you can share your name with me here real quick, right?
Aiden.
Aiden?
Yes, sir.
Aiden just shared, right, that every single one of us has much in common. Agreed?
Yes.
So what do we have in common with each other?
The mindset, like-minded individual.
Yeah, just the most basic level. We're all in Schey. We're all down to get this sales thing going here, right? Whether it's certificate or the full thing we have, right? Whatever we can take of value from here to really solidify ourselves in our future. We want to leverage the resources that we have. We want to leverage the relationships that we're going to build. We want to leverage the things that we don't know. Because, by the way, breaking news, you have no idea what you don't know yet, right? And so when we look at this, I think you outlined it perfectly, because now we see, all right, everybody in here is virtually on the same page with those intentions.
Right.
But there's a whole type of list, right? It's 8, 9, 10 things right there alone that are very different, very unique to where you are and what you want out of this experience. Hopefully this now shows you, one, what's possible. Maybe you didn't think or come to a conceptualization in your mind of what you should be thinking about and setting your intentions on, and this helps. Maybe this gives you some ideas. Maybe this plants some seeds for you. Or maybe this aligns with what you were thinking and doubles down on the fact that now you're in a position where, yes, that's exactly what I'm looking to do, and I'm glad because I was thinking the same thing. Whatever it may be, the idea here is simply just to get your mind to think. Just to get you to open your eyes and your mind to what is my intent, and then making sure that we do what? What do we really need to do? It's very simple. You actually need to specify and write down those clear intentions. Just like the most basic stuff, right? You've seen the clips, the YouTubes, people talk to you for life, right? They always say, when you write down goals, 80% of the people that do achieve at the highest levels, right? So please, I'm not walking the cliche path for you right now, but I am telling you, there's science. There's science that can't be ignored. And so when you have your pen and paper out, when you have your phone in front of you, and you literally type out or write out, my intentions for the next year through mentorship and Schey are the following. And you bullet point those things specifically and clearly, you are on a focused path to maximize the time and the opportunity that you have along with the resources you'll receive. I'm going to pause for a moment. Any questions? Good? Never want to assume that you understand, or if I can clarify, please feel free to rapid fire, okay? 2 months ago, August 21st, 2025, I found myself in downtown Detroit, Michigan. Anybody ever been to downtown Detroit? I would assume so with how many hands gave it to me for. And I was actually in an Uber. I was buttoned up to the nines. Had my best suit. It was actually lavender. Had a lavender suit custom made on because I wanted to be a little extra that day. Just a little extra. I'm rolling in an Uber Black because you know what? I wanted to treat myself. You can't wear a lavender suit and hop in the back of a Ford Taurus, right? And so I wanted to put myself in a nice spot. So I'm sitting in the car, got the suit on, a little bit of sweat, definitely nervous. We were just talking about nervous, right? Definitely nervous. And I'm rolling through downtown Detroit from my hotel to the Hudson Building, directly off of Campus Martius. The Hudson Building was just completed within the last few months. This is a historical footprint in the entire city of Detroit. It used to be the Mecca in the heart of Detroit where people and families would come. They would shop, they would congregate, they would celebrate holidays, they would create memories. It was leveled over time. It just turned into nothing. And what rose from that, I love it. The Phoenix is one of my favorite things. What rose from that was this beautiful skyscraper made of glass. A thing of beauty built right at the heart and the center of downtown Detroit. And the Uber actually had to go through these little gates. It felt like almost like I was like a sports player, like getting ready to go to the arena. I went through these gates and then it parked and there was really nobody around except for the line that was coming out of the door of very well-dressed people that looked like they were having a really good time. And as I hop out of the Uber, step out of the car, I walk up to the door. Hi, pleasantries, awkward small talk, hi. I'm standing in line. Okay, gotta check in. I check in. I walk to the escalator. I step on the escalator, tighten up the tie. Okay, here we go. About to get to the top. Don't know what to expect. A lot of people here. Get to the top of the escalator. Step off. And the first person I see is a woman named Mary Beth Quigley. I met Mary Beth 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I sat next to her on a desk. And I said, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I want to be great. Will you please help me? Can I sit my desk next to you? As I walked past her and she gave me a hug, said, Schmitty, my guy, I love you. Great to see you. Oh my God, you're the greatest. Couple inside jokes, couple laughs, quick story shared. I said, Quigs. I used to call it Quigs. Quigs. I'm going to see you in a minute. I got to go over here real fast, get a drink real quick, and then I'll be right back in the mix. Need water? You good? Serious? All right. It's all good. I'm not trying to make you feel awkward. I will literally pause so you can step out. It's all right. I said, Quigs. It's wonderful to see you. I love you, girl. Never forgot. 20 years. Can you believe it? And I step to the side, I start walking around, go to the bar, get a little liquid courage, make some more small talk with a bunch of people that I haven't seen in a long period of time. And as I step away from the bar, I step over 2 steps, and I look up and I see Jimmy Patron. I say, Jimmy P, my guy. Dapping him up, right? Jimmy goes, Smitty, my dude, it's been a minute. How we doing? I said, Jimmy, man, 20 years ago I sat next to you. Are you kidding me right now? 20 years. Jimmy's looking good. Not as good as my lavender, but he's looking good. And he stands there with a smile on his face, and he goes, Smitty, my goodness, can you believe we're here? Can you believe we made it this far? And to both of them, I said, not without you guys. Not without the first week I was there. You putting your arm around me and saying, young fella, I got you. Let's go. As I turned the corner, I started making more small talk. I sat down at the table and we started eating. And the gentleman that I sat next to joined our original sales team 6 months after I started. And at that point in time, I was a little bit more seasoned, had learned some things, did not figure it out, but had some things that I learned in that first 6 months of what might be necessary to help you get off the ground. And so I took this gentleman's name is Mr. Beerworth. I used to say, hey, how much is a beer worth actually? It's kind of our inside joke, Scotty Beerworth. I go, how much is beer worth actually today? What's the market value? And so I put my arm around him and he says, Schmitty, I got to tell you what, that first 6 months, man, you were a huge help to let me know exactly how to get in the game. And here I am 20 years since. I am so proud. As I stood up and turned around and finished my conversation with Scott, I looked at the wall. And on the wall was a huge graphic, 10 feet high, painted in calligraphy. And on the wall it said, O-G, apostrophe S. Ladies and gentlemen, I was at the Rocket Mortgage OGs event. This event was for every single team member that was at the company for 20 years or longer. The day before our 40th anniversary party. Exclusive, to say the least. Dan Gilbert's there, his brother's there. Literally every person that had started the company, even those that had left, were back, celebrating the run that we were on and success. It was a wonderful night. Great photos, great pictures, great stories. I'm a man that loves to reflect. Any other reflectors in here as well? I'm a man that loves to reflect. And so as I walk out of there, and I'm heading back to the hotel, my mind begins to unwind and lay out in front of me what just took place. And in my mind and in my eyes, as I think about this beautiful palace that I just walked through, and 500 people that I've known for 2 decades of my life, and how I heard about how we were the people that built the nation's greatest lender, from the 10th largest online lender to not even in the top 100 lenders when I started, to a behemoth that just bought Mr. Cooper. I thought to myself, there are a few key things that I will never forget about this. 1, grateful for the people that helped get me here, especially to get the plane off the ground. Humbled by the fact that even when I was 23 years old, somehow, some way I was driven enough to understand that I needed to focus my energy and intentions on growth and development. And my efforts were there. And the third part, legacy. I had an idea and a feeling early that there was some sort of legacy play that was happening at this place, but I didn't know it as of yet. And when I was flown on the Cavs team plane to Cleveland to be wooed to open up the Cleveland arena and the actual Cleveland Web Center, I had a better idea about what legacy might look like. And as my ears were ringing and the words that people were speaking on stage about us, 500, I'm just one of 500, that were in that room that shared that same experience, I knew in that moment that the OGs would forever be my legacy left over. And Rocket, from this point forward, for the rest of my life, will be tied to my name.
That's some deep shit.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love the genuine response. Full disclosure, I really do.
Deep.
It's real. It's my life. There's a reason why I just told you that story. There's a reason why I just shared those 3 things with you. If you know where I'm going and what I'm doing, you have a pretty good idea of what's going to start to come next. But that story is going to lay the foundation about us. Because that's just a story about me and my life. But we're here for you and your future. And so we're gonna go back to the board. I need 2 more people that are gonna go back to the board for me. I got any other volunteers, please? Oh, thank you. There you are. Purple, or you want red or blue? Purple, good? Purple's great. She feels great about purple. All right, going back to the board. Let's pull the table out for you again, good sir. All right, we are going to do 2 new categories here. You write the same things, but we're going to do 2 new ones. Oh, you already got a mark. You guys already got a mark. You already kidnapped the mark. I love it. All right, here we go. We're going to the board, and we are going to write mentor is the category. Mentor. Mentor. This is where I need your help now. This is not Jeff giving you answers. This is not Jeff handing you a piece of paper and saying, here's what it means. Right? If that's what it is, I wouldn't have driven 3.5 hours here to have this conversation with you. So I need your help. Give me the definition of a true mentor. Maybe somebody in your life that's a mentor right now. Raise your hand if you have one. That's great odds right there, right? So think about that person. Think about the characteristics of that person. Visualize in your mind the interactions that you have with them. And help me. Help us. Give me a definition. What's a great mentor? What makes a great mentor?
Someone you can rely on to go to during the toughest and greatest times in life.
Reliable highs and lows would be a great recap. That's a good one. Okay, please.
They're very blunt.
We call it radical candor. You ever studied that, by the way?
I have
Okay,
read a
good.
little bit about it.
Fantastic. I would say if you know that, you'll probably love radical candor. Please.
Someone who's a little bit farther along in your journey than you.
Ahead of the path, right? That's the whole idea. One of the greatest lessons in life is find the people that are 3 to 5 steps ahead of you and walk in their path. It doesn't have to be that hard if you can align yourself in that way and engage with them in a manner where we have a mutual exchange of value. Just had to let that sit for a minute because we're going to talk about that. Go.
I was going to say someone who's willing to sacrifice something of their self to have benefit you.
That's good. Selfless. Good, please.
A
You have one?
guide.
What's that?
A guide.
A guide. Shepherd. What else?
Someone that will like model my life after.
Role model. Personally and professionally. I would absolutely, you guys aren't going to be hooked up with anybody that doesn't fit this mold, by the way, but just in life in general, I would absolutely make sure you align with people that have good personal values, integrities, and the business aspect as well. Because if you follow them in business but they don't have the other, they're going to lead you astray at some point in time. At some moment where you need them, where life is the most hardest, you may get the type of advice maybe you don't need or hold you back. Anybody else? Please.
Somebody that recognizes where you can improve and wants to get there.
Identify opportunities and growth type thing. You guys can shorten this anytime you want. Once again, this is all about conversation.
Someone who wants to honestly see you succeed in life.
Genuine care. Anything else? I like radical candor a lot because if you have respect, right? Mutual respect is what I would write down. If you have a mutual respect that's been earned and created in your relationship, by the way, side note, any relationship you have in life, if you have a mutual respect and therefore you can speak with unabridged radical candor, which means you speak the truth to each other with the best intentions in mind, right? Then you can start to then model yourself after people, right? Identify your opportunities for growth, have a guide to where you want to go, and have them be there to support you. See how the pieces fall in place? They just fall right in place. Planned it that way. Did I miss anything else? Questions, comments? Okay, give them a round of applause. Thank you. Anybody care to share a mentor in their life that they're pretty proud of right now? As we transition to the next? Go ahead, please.
My dad.
Okay. Warms my heartstrings as a man that's a father of 2 and could not be more proud of anything else. Anything specific that you would be comfortable sharing about what you feel like your dad has done to mentor you?
Just how I try and connect with other people who are also in your shoes.
Yeah. Awesome. You know what? I'll tell you a quick story just as I transition to the next thing we're going to do. My son plays golf. He's 11, loves golf. He's a different type of cat. You know, 11-year-old kid walking the golf course. Just whoosh. And so he gets paired up with this kid, and let's just call it what it is. People that play golf, no disrespect to anybody in this room, but I think we'll come to a generalized consensus. They're a little bit more unique than other sports and other types of people, right? They tend to be more introverted, right? They tend to be a little bit more unique. Let's use that word one more time, right? Once again, I am making a generalization here. My son plays golf, so obviously I'm not judging, but I'm just saying how it is. So he gets matched up with this other kid as his partner, and my son, I told you he's an old soul, right? So my son is this old soul, and I've been talking to him like a real human being, like a grown man since he was 3 years old, no joke. So he's been carrying full conversations. He's been ordering his own food at restaurants since he was 4. Like we're treating this thing differently. And so my son, he starts jabbing up at this guy. He starts like throwing him some sarcastic shots. He starts making some jokes. He starts yucking it up a little bit. He starts like kind of throwing some banter. I love banter. It's my second language. He starts throwing some banter. Obviously me and my son banter a little bit, right? And so this poor kid, he was just like, he had no idea. He was like just kind of like playing golf and there, didn't really understand what's going on. So the life lesson, I get in the car with G, with my son, I call him G. I get in the car with G and I go, hey G, let's break down what just happened real quick. Say, what did you learn about that boy? What do you know about him? What did you perceive about him? Before you dove in and started bantering and talking and throwing shots, did you learn anything about him? How he likes to communicate? What he likes and enjoys? Did you open him up at all to a level of comfort and engagement? No. So how do you think he reacted to what you did? What do you think I observed? Anyways, I could go forever on this. It was a fascinating conversation because all I did was teach my 11-year-old son what open-ended questions do, how to find commonalities in conversations, how to ask people for help even if you don't need it, to show that you're vulnerable and humble, and show that you perceive value in them. My son was a better golfer than him. But if he lined up a putt, I'm not saying lie, I'm saying be precise and smart. If he lines up a putt, and he just wants an extra line, like, hey, how would you hit this putt? My son's probably got a pretty good idea how he wants to hit it. But let's get another opinion. How would you hit this putt? How's he feeling? Has nothing to do with what we just talked about, but an opportunity to add value I will not miss. All right, we're going to transition to the next thing. You guys ready for it? Schey. Can you guys describe this Schey thing? I feel like this is my third time an opportunity to be a part of and immersed in Schey, and it's awesome. I really have the best time every time I'm here, so I'm back. How do you, like, give me a word, a couple words, nothing crazy. What is Schey? How do you perceive it? How do you see it? Hit me.
Leadership.
Okay, awesome.
Abundance of opportunity.
You get excited. You want to write this down? I'll give the video to Greg here when we're done. Go ahead.
Driven.
Driven, okay.
Communication.
Great one. If that wasn't the case, we'd be in a bad spot, right?
Motivation.
Motivation.
Continuous growth.
I like that, okay.
Greatness.
Greatness. I was like, this is where I wanted to go with it. You're, by the way, everybody gave excellent answers. But what about the brand?
I'd say aligned.
Okay,
On mission.
good. What about the brand and identity? The brand and identity. Just like in marketing, brand and identity seems to always linger further and longer than other things. Go ahead.
The brand's incredibly strong.
Yeah.
A lot of people know what the Schey is, even if they don't go to OU.
I didn't ask you to say that. It's a perfect tee up though, right? What was the reason? Breaking a little sweat here for you guys. You like that? Gotta go all in. Apologies. What was the reason you applied to be a part of Schey? Like, why did you want to join this entity? Short sentence, couple words. Why did you want to join this?
They're number one.
What's that?
They're number one.
The best. They're the best. She's got a sweatshirt that says it, so it's got to be true. Okay.
I wanted to be with like-minded people.
Well, I like that. Okay.
I feel like when you say share some success with people,
Synonymous with, right? That's phenomenal.
Being a top program comes with opportunities.
The opportunities that come from elite greatness, right?
They provide the gateway to help you become the best.
Yes, the path is actually paved to an extent, although you have to lay the stones. Anything else?
wanting to learn how to become a leader.
Love that.
I wanted to take the next step to further my career.
That's a cool thing too. I mean, man, we could put that on the website right there, right?
It's filthy.
Here's what's important. What's important is when these things are said, it shouldn't be the first time you think about it consciously. And if it is, we got to do more work. We got to think deeper. We have to reflect more. We have to do more self-reps. Because for you to be a part of and tied to an entity that, by the way, I haven't said a word yet about Schey, about what I think. Everything that you guys just said described an elite and exclusive environment that is paved with opportunity and resource. Agreed? And that people are actually fighting to join, right? It's not just like knocking the door open and walk into Schey, correct? What's our ratios here as far as people that apply to get in?
We sit at about 25%.
Think about that for a hot second. You're here and 75 people are not, right? You're here and another 75% is not. Exclusivity. Exclusivity drives demand, as we all understand in economics. It drives a lot of things as far as being elite, right? It allows us to keep it elite and keep the standards high so we can maintain that level inside of the brand. All important things. What does this mean, though, moving forward? See, after you internalize this, after you understand this, after you embrace this, after you actually carry this with you and use it to help you guide your own self-awareness and personal standards. Because, by the way, just a heads up, you are the brand. You are the living, breathing entity of Schey Sales. Schey Sales is not a sign, it's not a logo, it's not a sweatshirt, it's not Greg Scott, although he does an incredible job, right? It's not the University of Ohio, it's not. When you want to see, feel, touch, interact, and understand what Schey Sales is, how does said human do that? They interact with the students, teachers, educators, and teammates that are amongst the group. And immediately and very quickly, they have an understanding of exactly what this is. And you are not only a part of it, by the way, earn the right to be amongst it, and will continue to earn that, by the way. I believe it's not just a privilege, it's earned as you go. But now you are going to carry on that legacy. The inroads that you talked about, of being able to get an internship at Rocket Mortgage in Detroit and work for an executive vice president by his side for the entire time, and have access to things that most people in this life won't even see, hear, or understand, because of the relationships that have been formed at the school, right, is unbelievable and undeniable. The fact that you could reach out to other corporate jobs, or that Monday they were here and have immediate things in common, like I talked about. If you have immediate commonalities, what if it's OU and Schey? You feel like you can get somebody's attention and be able to bend their ear a little bit faster and longer than the next person behind you that wants the same thing? What about if you actually go to LinkedIn and look up OU grads and start to search inside of the marketing field that you want, and you're on the hunt, and you start with those, and it's massive, the pool to start and work from? And what if maybe you don't end up working with or for a Schey grad or an OU grad, but they refer you to their best friend that owns a marketing company in the same city and is in need of your help, and they then, after speaking with you, give you high regard? I gotta tell you, that might be one of the most valuable resources and assets that you will ever have for your entire life. To be able to do those things. It all requires your action, by the way. It all requires your awareness. It all requires your execution. None of it will just show up at your front door. But the fact that it's possible for you to take that action and go execute and create that opportunity, and to do it with the wind at your back filling your sails, is incredible. All right, so let me be real with you guys. I don't like school. I don't. I never have. When I was younger, I was like in these gifted programs that my mom would put me in. She's very academia. Both my parents, U of M grads. They have dual master's degrees from U of M. My mother went to Wisconsin. My father went to Illinois with an engineering degree. My sister graduated high school with a 4.2. She graduated U of M with a 4.3 in like 3.5 years. She got out of grad school in a year and a half. Long story short, I'm an anomaly. I'm a genetic anomaly in every possible way you can think of. They are academia and phenomenal. Jeffrey graduated high school at 2.7. Jeffrey had to go to Western Michigan, then to Oakland Community College, and then to Michigan State, just to get to the end game that I had dreamed about. I had to take a little bit harder path. Now, that's my own fault. Don't feel bad for me. It's because of my lack of action. But regardless, that was my road. And the entire time I graduated, I don't know, 2.8, something like that. The entire time, I was just simply trying to get to the piece of paper and the outcome. Candidly, I was enjoying not having limited responsibilities until my parents started to put more on me. And I enjoyed just simply the lifestyle of being able to live. And by the way, that's okay. You know, you're in a phase of life where you should do those things. Because, you know, breaking news, it's not going to happen again. You're not going to have this type of social experience again. And as responsibility continues to be layered on and you make decisions in your life, it shall fade quickly. Not to here to be a downer, but you got to understand reality so you can take advantage of the opportunity you have right now and enjoy it while it's here. Why do I share this with you? Right? It's kind of awkward to actually stand in front of a room of people that have elite goals in mind and say, I'm actually terrible at school and don't even like it. Slash, I don't even know if Greg really enjoys me saying that, but hey, there it is. I say it to you because I have a handful of things, and I'm sure you do too. I have a handful of things in my life that I regret. First one by far is not being closer with my grandfather. Not even close. If I could do any do-over, I have dinner with any person, all those questions that people ask in life, it is Harry S. Thompson. I need an hour. Just give me an hour. This World War II vet that was in the Royal Canadian Air Force, that fought in open fields in World War II, that flew planes that he literally fixed with his bare hands, that landed in a field, and then came home and built a career and a life in our family and smiled the entire way. Are you kidding me? This man used to scrape his plate clean with a fork. Harry S. Thompson. Man, I wish I could meet that man one more time. The things I would say and ask. I don't know if it's second, third, or fourth in my top 5, though, is my experience at Michigan State. I wasn't engaged. I wasn't involved. That's in the classroom. That's with the resources that were available. That's with the student body. That's with the professors and the TAs. In my intentions of what I wanted to get out of the things that were most important were never there. I had one. It was to get a degree, see my mom smile, and be done. And I did it. It took 5 years, took a lot of work. In fact, I even walked across the stage in the Breslin Center, accepted the fake piece of paper they give you as your little diploma, knowing that a day later I was going to have to tell my mom that I still needed one more class because I failed one of my core classes. That was your boy Jeff right there. I'm not proud of it, but that's who I was. And it's okay. What's the lesson? Why do I share this with you? Why do I just open myself and be vulnerable in this situation? Well, one, I'm a real human being. I'm a real person. And number 2 is you don't have to make the same mistakes if it's important to you. I'm not telling you what to do with your life, and I'm not telling you what to do with your time or your opportunity. You have to decide what that is. What I am telling you, however, though, is that if you don't make up your mind about what intentions and goals you have, and you don't actually have the right perception of what are you a part of, and what is this opportunity that you worked so hard to be with? Remember, you applied to be here. Nobody plucked you off the street. You fought to be in this room. Now what? You battled to sit at the table and just play the game. Now what? So what? Sitting at the table is not the end game. It's when the game begins. And here, what you do here teaches you how to play it. Now, we leverage resources, specifically mentors. We utilize the fact that we're literally handing you somebody to help guide you through life, in addition to everything else that we give. And by we, I mean Schey. Obviously, I'm not associated with, but I feel like it. Right? I feel like it. And so I want you to really think about and reflect again about intentions. What is this journey that you're on here, and what are you going to get out of it to maximize your time? Because it's never going to happen again. And do you plan on standing in front of a room or talking to a person 15 years from now like me and saying the things that I just said? Or did it irk you a little bit to feel like if I said that, maybe I would have messed up? And if that's the case, good for you. That's the idea. Because now you'll make better decisions. You'll take different actions. And you'll value these opportunities. Because I got to tell you, if I could do it all over again, if I could learn for a living, my goodness, would it be a great time? My goodness, would it be an awesome experience?
So, I understand that the idea of just trying to get the outcome with your education is fantastic, that you kind of like built this life for yourself later in your career, but how did you have that philosophy change from just trying to get to the outcome going through high school and going through college to being so successful in your business career? How did you have such a sudden change in philosophy?
It's a really good question, actually. There's no apex moment outside of necessity. I will tell you, necessity is life's greatest driver. So I think it was probably necessity. It was My mom's like, all right, now that you have a job at Quicken at that point in time, now you have a job at Quicken, you're moving out in 6 months. And now you're moving out in 6 months, you have to pay for life. And by the way, I'm not paying for anything else. It's 5 months after that. And so my parents were very generous. They're very good to me, right? They made me work since I was 14. And they made me earn money since I was 14. And I know responsibility. I used to work in kitchens for 13, 14 hours till 3 in the morning. Trust me, I know hard work. And I've always loved it. But I lived a great life as well. I was well taken care of. And so I think necessity was probably the first trigger, which was when you don't have a choice, choices get easier. Follow me? When you don't have a choice, choices get easier. The problem is often in life, we wait until life makes it so we don't have a choice, instead of us setting our intentions to ensure that we don't have any other choice. You guys see the difference? If circumstances dictate your necessity, then you're in a bad spot because you're reacting to a poor circumstance. If your actions are dictated by your intentions, you're in a great spot. That help?
Yes.
What I also tell you is, I don't know, there's something about me, man. I'm just like, as soon as I hit the sales floor, I wanted to prove myself to my parents. I wanted to prove myself to my family. Honestly, I learned actually later on in life, I wanted to prove myself to myself, right? That I could be a professional, that I could take care of myself, that I could build a quality of life that was equal to what my parents had provided. These were things that drove me incredibly hard for a long time. I was also a competitor, so I'm watching people all around me like do well, get success, recognition, awards, earnings, and as I was working 13 hours a day, grinding, I want that too. I want the dividend. And so that was driving me too.
Would you say that you plunged yourself kind of into an environment that brought that out of you?
Yeah, 100%. Quicken and Rocket, man, was the greatest thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
I was surrounded by leaders that cared and were compassionate. I had mentors and people around me I just told you a story about that put their arm around me and said, here's how it works, let's go. And as they saw me work incredibly hard, be driven, execute on the feedback that I was given, want to learn more, begin to compete at a high level, they were motivated to do more. So that's one of the tips in life, and that's one of the things with mentorship teachers and professors. If they teach you something and then they see you master it, don't you know that they're motivated to teach you something again? Like, think about that life hack when it comes to teachers, coaches, parents, anybody in your life that has a vested interest in your well-being or that has shown an interest to help you. If you're reciprocity, if you reciprocate with execution and growth, they're going to come back to that well faster because it gives them gratitude. Think about it with me, my son, right? I teach my son a life lesson. I taught him how to ride a BMX bike the other day. He's 11. I had to reteach him. There was about a 5-6 year hiatus. We lived in an apartment, didn't ride a bike. So I had to reteach my 11-year-old son how to ride a bike. That was a humbling experience for a father. Very much so. Very much so. But think about that, right? So now when I'm teaching him this and he masters it, I'm like, bat, what can we do now? This is cool, right? I'm like, gee, let's go learn something else. So I'm very motivated by it. So hopefully that gives you some perspective too. But once again, I'm so happy you said it because it just makes the point. The environment gives you the bountiful soil to be able to then flourish as you plant the seeds of what you want your future to be. Right? And you guys ever listen to Earl Nightingale? No? He's old school. He's like the first motivational speaker that ever happened. If you listen to his clip, it's actually on a record. So when you listen on YouTube, you can hear it crackle. It's crazy. Earl Nightingale says, your mind is like a plentiful and bountiful soil. It makes no choice for what grows. The farmer is the one that decides what seed shall be planted. If you plant a seed of poison and a seed of grain, both shall grow. It is your choice on what seeds you plant, right? Decisions of what you decide. You have intentions and actions on that will ultimately get you where you want to go. All right, I want to make sure we stay on time. Good so far? By the way, thanks for chiming in. Anything else? I can go forever, so I'm trying to stay on task. Cool? All right, let's define the next thing. This is the most important part. So give me a quick reset real fast. Take a breath. I know it's a little bit hot in here, right? I've been going for a minute. Like, do a quick reset. Take a deep breath. Okay, here we go. All right. Come out, leave me for a minute. Go somewhere else. Come back to me for a minute. All right? When we come back, this is going to be the most important part, okay? You guys ready? Okay. We're not going to do the board work now, but we are going to do contributions, which is I want you guys to help me, okay? The most important thing for us to find, and if I were you, I would be taking notes on this for sure, because these are the things that you guys absolutely want to make sure you're doing. The most important things that you want to define is what does it mean to be a great mentee? Because this, and I mentioned it before, I pause, give it a little moment. This mentor-mentee relationship, this is a mutual relationship, right? This is an equal share. One of my favorite things in life is reciprocity. especially in relationships. Relationship reciprocity is like the greatest thing ever. Me and I call her my wife. We love it. We've built our foundation on it, right? Which is if I invest this amount, then you're gonna probably invest that same amount back as soon as possible. She heard something the other day, it was like when my husband's at 80% and I'm at 20%, then he'll carry. But when he goes to 20%, then I'm gonna have to rise to 80% and I'll carry, right? It's this beautiful thing about how you can have reciprocity in a relationship and you can go further, faster, and higher together because you do it. Because you're not always gonna be on. And that's the whole idea of relationships, right? The ebb and flow of value and exchange. So what makes a great mentee?
Coachable.
Good, right? I must be coachable. Can you guys describe what that means for you too? What does coachable even mean though? It's a good word, but what does it actually mean?
Like not being too set in your ways.
Good.
Being able to take feedback.
Yeah, but look, the whole idea here, right, is that we learn about ourselves, we learn about the areas we're good at and that we need to grow in, we learn about the things we don't know. My God, if I were you guys, I'd be searching high and low. Like, what do I not know? Because there's so much, right? And then knowing, by the way, this is going to be uncomfortable. You know, like there's going to be times where, excuse me, can you repeat that? I actually, honestly, have no idea what you just said, but I feel like I need to know it. You might actually have that moment where you actually have to swallow your pride and actually say that to another human being, a grown person, right? And look very vulnerable in front of them. But without it, right, you're never going to grow. So that's awesome. Okay, what else?
Bounce off that, I would say vulnerable.
Being vulnerable, right? Good.
Dedicated.
Dedicated. How? Why? Give me more description.
You gotta be like all in, like to get better. You can't just be like a little bit here, a little bit there.
The word I would give you on top of this is conviction. Right? You can be dedicated to things and fall off. When you have great conviction, when the seas ebb and flow, you stay on the boat. I believe that's what you're describing, right? So I'd add conviction to that.
Taking the information that you're getting,
Yeah.
so you can make it into reality.
So what actions can you do? I'm coming to you right now, right after this and you can bounce. What actions will you need to take to be able to acquire and obtain information? Serious question. What do we need to do?
Have an open mindset.
Okay, what else? Physically. You're right. What's that? Let's start with the most simple thing. Do you have a notebook or an actual thing, a Word document? I don't know what your game is and how you do it, right? Whatever your thing is. But make sure you have something specifically dedicated to mentorship. Here's what I'm telling you right now, and I'm gonna get to you. You cannot write on one page in your book, the one meeting you have with your mentor, and then fill that same book with 10 other things from 10 other classes, and then start flipping back through the book to find the page the next time you meet with your mentor to keep going. It needs to be a progressive realization of the best version of you, which means that you want it in one place, continuously together, that you can read like an actual book of mentorship. So you can see how your conversation and knowledge progresses in order sequentially. And so have a section, have a page that the whole thing is mentorship, okay? As you take notes and do things. Right behind you real quick, and I'll come back to you.
So humility and communication.
Good. Have to be humble going into it. You have to communicate at an incredibly high level, proactively, not just reactively too. Thanks for coming, man. Thanks for being a part of it.
The ability to drive success through failure.
Okay. Give me an example.
I don't know, let's say let's say you're on an internship and you do your first cold call and you don't get your sale. Being able to understand the critiques or aspects of that call that went wrong, receive information from your
Good.
mentor, and then let's say the next cold call you do, you get the sale because of what you
That's good.
learned from your mentor.
That's an example of growth. That's literally an example of real life example of growth. You accept feedback, open to it, uncomfortable, all the things. You take notes, you implement the feedback and change, and then you actually use it and obtain a better outcome because of it, because of that knowledge gained. Really good. Here's a couple words for you. Accountable. You have to be accountable to each other. You must be accountable to each other. Can somebody tell me what that means actually though? It's a good word, but what does it actually mean? Think simple here. Don't overthink this. Not a rocket science situation.
It's like own up to your mistakes, your shortcomings.
Great. If you said you're going to do something you didn't do it, I'd much rather look my mentor in the eyes and be like, I didn't do it and here's why. Help me. How can I do better? I was uncomfortable. I didn't understand. I was overwhelmed. I didn't have time. I didn't make it a priority actually. How do I prioritize better? See, when you tell the truth and you're vulnerable and uncomfortable and do those things to somebody that actually has your best intentions in mind, you can actually learn how to manage life through that experience of admitting the failure or the fault. Accountable also, guys, is be on time or be early. Have integrity. If you say you're going to do something outside of the example we just gave where you can grow from, do it. Or try to the best of your ability. It's not the outcome that we desire in this, it's you walking the path and getting the experience so you can continue to reflect and grow. Okay? Another one is proactive. Another word I want you guys to have is proactive. A lot of times as we enter into these mentorship relationships, we may have this belief system that it's like a one-way exchange where the mentor is going to set a meeting with you, come to the meeting with an agenda, come to the meeting with talking points, specifically understand how you're going to grow, have specific examples of where you can grow, run the entire conversation, and that's going to be it. First of all, does that sound like a conversation or a relationship you want to be in? Serious question. Yeah, you're giving me a straight up head shake. No, right? For me, no. I'm good on that. No thanks. Sounds boring, right? Sounds ineffective, and it sounds like I'm probably not going to gain too much knowledge if that's how we're going to build this thing. Okay, so let's not do that. So the whole idea of having this conversation. Let's not do that. Instead, let's be proactive. How can we be proactive in these engagements?
Oh, I was just saying, knowing what you want out of
Good.
the mentorship before you go into it and communicating that.
Set your clear intentions. Set your goals for the relationship. I love the idea of sitting across from somebody or on the phone with somebody and say, this is what I want to get out of this. Please help me. That's great. As a mentor, I would be so excited because now I know I can then cater the way I'm going to communicate and help lead you to those specific things, knowing that I'm going to add value. I'm not throwing darts at a dartboard hoping it hits the right spot. I'm actually targeting what you say you want and need, and through those interactions, adding great value because of it. It's really good. All right, what else is proactive? Oh, I saw you raise your hand. Go ahead. Anybody else? Proactive.
Taking the risk.
Okay, like what?
Kind of, jumping into the deep end, maybe you go and do something you're not very comfortable with normally, so that way you can benefit from it in the
Good.
long run.
I would pre-plan that risk with your mentor and have that conversation ahead of time, so it's a calculated risk. So it's a prepared risk, okay? Then you can go in with the best preparation. Also proactive, I'm coming with questions every time. I'm coming with specific anecdotal examples every time. I went through, experienced, did this. These are the outcomes or failures that I experienced. By the way, every time, I don't understand this. I don't get this. I struggle with this so much. Here's an example of how I struggled with this. Please help me. It makes it so much easier for a professional and somebody that in life is trying to help you to be able to now specifically, once again, cater message, anecdotes, and experiences to be able to help you grow. Good? Check my notes here real fast, make sure I didn't miss anything else. Partnership, accountability, prepared, proactive. Partnership, accountability, prepared, and proactive are the key words that I really want to. Okay? Here's the reality. The reality is that this is going down no matter what you do. You're getting a mentor, and they're going to reach out to you. You're going to have these conversations, and you're going to be held accountable to them regardless. Okay? It's going down no matter what. And by the way, that's a blessing. The fact that this thing's going to play out and it's already being put together for you, and essentially it's going to be 75% controlled on your behalf, is an incredible blessing. How nice does that make it for you? The things that matter now is our ability to get the most out of Schey in everything we talked about, with great perspective and understanding of where I am right now, what I'm a part of, and how this is going to add to my journey. We want to know, what do we want and expect out of mentorship? You're not going to sit in front of somebody else and say, this is what I expect out of you as a mentor. That'd be a little awkward. However, you could cater the message since you're in sales. You could cater the message and say, these are the clear objectives I feel like a mentor could really help me in. And to proactively communicate those things. To give me the cheat sheet on how to lead you. Remember, you wrote down actions, and I'd like you to add more. I'd like you to really think about, what am I going to do in these phone calls and videos to maximize my time? And then, what am I going to do? This is the most important part. Ready for me? After the conversation's done. Because if you can have the most incredible conversations for months at a time, but if you don't do anything to execute afterwards or follow up on what you talked about and talk through your experience the next time, you're never going to grow at the rate you expect at all. If at all, maybe you won't even grow at all. This is about following up and following through just as much as it is about maximizing the conversation and the interaction. And when you piece those things together, you will now have a catalyst to incredible growth and a long-term life relationship with Schey and with your mentor that hopefully will shape your life. I don't want to oversell you and say change your life, but shape your life, add value at an important time in life where you're looking for catalysts for growth, and here it is. "10 to 15 years from now, you're going to come back, and this place is going to be sick. 10 to 15 years from now, this place will look like corporate America. It'll have glass doors, windows, huge lobbies, and incredible access to the street, probably a rooftop. 10 to 15 years from now, this building will be a corporate entity in itself, mirroring and mimicking what is actually going on in places like I work at every day, like Rocket Mortgage and others. And when you walk through the doors as a professional, mature adult that has grown and experienced and created success in their life, and you enter into this realm and this place again, you're going to be proud about how you maximized your time here. You're going to be proud about the legacy that you are carrying on. Because at some point in time, sooner than you want, somebody's going to be picking up the phone and calling you and saying, "Hey, Schey, we need mentors. You're a graduate, and we'd love your help." And that day's coming sooner than you think. And that'll be your chance to reciprocate, to pay it forward, to further the legacy that's been created before you and that you're creating right now in this moment, in this place. And when you stand in this building 10 years from now, with people surrounding you, looking around and thinking how this moment, this place, and this time in your life shaped your future and set you up for relationships, success, and to achieve all the dreams and goals you have in life, you'll be grateful for being an OG. Thanks for your time, guys. I appreciate you. All right. I'll kick it to you guys. Good? Anything else that needs to happen?
Of course.
I was going to open up for questions, but I want you guys to take control first since we hit time.
Let's get one more round of applause for Jeff Schey.
Anything else you guys got for me? Doesn't have to be about mentorship. It depends how much time we have or whatever. You tell me if there's a restriction, but
We'll let him make a quick announcement,
Cool.
and then as long as you want to stay, you guys can
listen, I'm
wait and
sleeping
ask
here
us
tonight. I have
any
no plan to be here another
questions.
2 hours, so I'll hammer out
We,
questions.
we have 24-hour access
Cool.
to this, so whatever
Okay.
we need.
Thanks, keep up.
All right, well, I hope you guys got some value out of that, see the value of mentorship, and I hope you guys have some really great relationships that we set up for you guys here soon. Next steps, on Tuesday, we're going to have our speed networking event. It's going to be on Zoom virtually from 6 to 7 o'clock, where we'll get you guys in front of some of the mentors so you guys can build some of those connections and see who you click with. But other than that, you guys are free to go. You can ask Jeff questions. I'll throw the attendance code back up too in case you didn't get that. But you guys have filled that out. You guys are all good. Thank you guys so much for coming out.
Thank you. Shameless plug, by the way, guys. I got business cards. I'll leave right here if you guys want. I got obviously social media, a bunch of stuff. So if you guys are interested, please. Any questions for me though? Anything else that I can address for you about anything?